How's it going, guys? We are the Reservoir Wolves, and we're back with another episode. Today, we're talking about Resident Evil. We're gonna go over a couple topics for Resident Evil. The first one we have on our list today is our favorite installment. Anthony, what was your favorite installment?
I think my favorite installment was the remake for the first one, like in the early 2000s.
Oh, yeah, the remake that came out for the GameCube, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was definitely life-changing. It was scary as hell, man.
Yeah, I think that was like the scariest installment, and then what I liked about it was that they changed it up too. Like,
Yeah,
there was a lot of new elements in that.
Yeah, they added some stuff to that one.
What about you?
Either that one, the first one, like that scared the hell out of me. So I think I'm gonna have to go with that just because it has like a really, like a nostalgia feeling for me. Like every time I play that, even like I played it recently, like on PlayStation 1, and the graphics are crappy, but it takes you back to that moment when you first see that zombie eating the guy, and then like the really bad voice acting, all that. So and even that first cutscene where like you have like weird ass looking Chris, weird ass looking Joe.
Yeah, the movie, the game opened up with like a live action scene with horrible actors.
So I guess it's either that, and then I was also gonna say I really like number 2. Number 2 is amazing.
I agree. If I had to like a close second, would be number 2.
We're probably gonna have a walkthrough of Resident Evil 2, so stay tuned. Okay, so our next item is our favorite character, like favorite main character. I'll go first this time. I think it's a tie between Chris and Leon. Sometimes I lean towards Chris, sometimes I lean towards Leon. As weird as that sounds. I think I like Chris before he took roids. I think that's kind of like what happened with me. Like it Resident Evil 1 and like Code Veronica, I was like, this guy's a badass. And then he is still a badass, but when he went around and started punching rocks and shit to kill people, that kind of killed it for me. What about you?
I feel you. I think Chris is my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Leon's a close second, but I think I just like Chris's like overall like arc. Even in like the shitty Resident Evil 6. Like I think the only thing I liked was like Chris's struggle in that game.
I totally blocked that game out of my mind.
Now the one thing I admit that like it's not like I don't know why they've done it is that he's changed like physically, like you're saying.
Yeah.
So many times. Like he went from looking normal to in 1, the remake of 1 and Code Veronica.
Yeah.
Then 5 comes out.
He buffed his ass up.
Took some Winter Soldier program. And then Revelations came out, and they kept his physique, but they like slimmed it. So I was like, okay, he's cool. And then 6, the same thing. Like he was buffed, but nothing like 5.
Yeah.
And then 7 comes out,
and it's like a totally different guy.
It doesn't even have. Yeah, it's not the same voice actor, and his face looks nothing.
His hair was like brown, like pure, like really light brown. And then like theories came out that wasn't even him.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I like what they did with like his character in that. Like, he's like the main character in the DLC, and his story's cool. But yeah, he looks and sounds like nothing like Chris.
Yeah, I agree. So you're still gonna go with Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Leon. Leon has stayed the same.
Yeah.
So I like that. Favorite side character? What's your favorite like minor on the side? I mean, some of these aren't really side characters, but they're not like in the top 5. Which,
I think we probably Rebecca or Billy. I think I like Billy a lot.
Rebecca was hotter than Billy, that's for sure. So Rebecca for me for that one. But Billy was only in that one in 0, right?
Yeah, and like I feel like he's one of the characters that should have came back in some.
I think they talked about it. Like I think they thought about it.
Like I like Barry a lot. And then he was a fan favorite for a while, and then he finally did come back. But it's crazy if you look at the time gaps. Like he was in the original Resident Evil, like as a side character, and then now he's like the main character in Revelations 2.
I think he popped up in like 3. I think he's the guy
he's a cameo
who picks up Jill in the helicopter.
And then like he's finally playable in Revelations 2, which is like almost 17 years after the first game came out.
He's never been in a main installment. Like really, like Revelations is considered like a side installment, right?
Yeah, it's like because it was I mean, it's
never
considered part of like the main story because
Yeah.
there's side installments that like they kind of like write off saying that they don't count. But
I think my favorite would have to be either Ada or Hunk. Ada's just hot, and she's a badass. Like she fucks shit up. I remember like one of my favorite parts in the first one, the second one is when she like dies. I remember like that hit. You know, as a kid, I was like, damn, this hot girl just died. This sucks. And then you have Hunk. Hunk was a badass. Hunk was like he wasn't supposed to be like anything, and then everyone loved the way he looked and everything. They made him into like a.
He was definitely like the Boba Fett of the Resident Evil universe. And I remember like there ended up being like a mission you can like that sees how he escapes.
Yeah.
And it was in like the game was like it was one of the spin-offs.
It was like for the Dreamcast or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
No, and then I remember like I think they did it like a couple times because in the Wii Umbrella Chronicles, which is basically like the House of the Dead Resident Evil, like they did a lot of like special missions in that game, which they consider like canon. Yeah. And one of them was you played as like Hunk escaping. I remember another one that was really cool is like Wesker escaping like the moment he dies. Like he wakes up from the tyrant like after killing him, and then like it was a cool story, but the whole like
the whole action thing
feeling was weird.
But yeah, he's always he's playable in like a bunch of mercenary. He's always like an add-on.
And like I think closing thoughts of like I would say with Hunk is that like after he's had all this build up and like obviously the fans like him. Like I'm surprised he hasn't came back to some kind of degree as like a bad
I
guy.
honestly thought when I saw the part in Resident Evil 7 spoiler in the end when the guy goes up and when Chris goes up to Ethan and he still has his mask on, I was like, oh shit, this is Hunk. But no, it's Redfield 2.0.
Yeah, and then 7 kind of like confirms that like the bad guys that are secretly they've been building up is nothing like related to Umbrella because apparently the new Umbrella is working with Chris and the BSA to like fix their reputation.
Yeah, I mean I don't trust Umbrella no matter what.
Yeah, but Umbrella hasn't been the bad guys, and it's like if you really think about it, like 3 and 2.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because Resident Evil 4 starts off with them saying Umbrella's gone.
Yeah,
and then after that you just have like terrorist organizations.
Technically, yeah, if you think about it, like 4 is the whole Las Plagas tribe, and then 5 and 6 it's all like external people like Tricell, Wesker, and
what was the organization in 6? It was like Neo Umbrella.
That's right. Yeah. It was like a Splinter Cell group.
Like just from a marketing perspective, like your brand is Umbrella, and your brand is basically you created like monsters. Why would you go back to that? Just change your name to something else. You know? I don't know. I wouldn't do that if I were them. If I were their marketing guy. All right, let's go on to our next topic. Our next topic is favorite moment. My favorite moment will always be the beginning when of Resident Evil 1. When you go to find this guy's body and the zombie turns around and is eating the guy's head and shit, and that's it. That still gets me. That traumatized me as a kid.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta admit, like, for favorite moments, I think, like, when it comes to Resident Evil, 2 things. Like, the scariest moments and then, like, the truly epic moments. And, like...
What would be, like, a truly epic moment?
I would think the last fights in, like, half of these games. But if I had to choose one, the Code Veronica one. Like, you finally, like, it's been building up, like...
You fight Veronica.
Is it
Veronica or Alexis?
Yeah, it's Alexis, but
the Veronica virus.
Yeah, she injects herself and goes into some... And then I remember at the end of the fight, like... You're fighting this platform. You have this music blasting. You know, you fight her with like the Spartan laser of the. You have to wait until it's ready.
Yes, I remember.
I remember playing that game and it was like nerve wracking.
But she turns into like a giant plant, right?
And she changes like 5 times in that like.
You know, I always love like in the old games, like whenever the boss had to turn into something crazy, they just turn into like a giant blob at some point. Like I remember like Birkin turns into like a giant blob.
That was a great boss, but then out of nowhere he's like, bleh.
It's like that's why he turns into like a Snorlax pit.
I gotta admit, Irvine, I think the ending fight at Resident Evil 1 was probably
Tyrant. Like Tyrant,
like Tyrant was terrifying. That out of nowhere, like it's corny now, but when like that rocket launcher gets thrown down and it's like your saving grace, and then even when the remake, when you shoot the Tyrant, they show it dying like 7 times. It's like in slow motion. They really like play it
because they know it's the best part, man. They know that's the best part.
But scariest moment for me is probably when you first fight the hunters in the first game.
Yeah, that terrified me. That whole game terrified me.
Because a lot of the enemies were like kind of slow in that game. I mean, you had the dogs that were kind of fast.
Yeah.
I'll never forget seeing this giant green reptile destroy me one hit.
Oh, it's terrifying. It was terrifying.
And then while it's yelling too.
He like blows your head off. He just like lunges at you and takes your head off.
I remember when I see that the famous like "you're dead" thing. That was the only time I was just there like, wow.
I remember like for Resident Evil 1, my friend, I was like in first grade. My friend was like, "Dude, you gotta play this game, Resident Evil." I asked Santa Claus for that game. That's how young I was. I asked Santa Claus for Resident Evil. My parents must have thought I was crazy. And then we got it, and we're playing it, and I was fine up until the part where the zombie turns around, and that just ended me. I ended up calling my friend Leo, like, "Yo, what's wrong with you, man? Like, why did you do this to me?" Like, crying. And then after that, it just got worse and worse. Like, the part with the snake traumatized me. The part with the hunter traumatized me. You don't fight dogs in the first one, do you? Oh, yeah, you do in the hallway.
It's like one of the scary. Hallway,
like,
it's a good scary scene. Like it's like
they jump out of the window.
Yeah, and then that's what I like about the remake, because the remake actually
they tease it.
Famous for it. They tease it when you go through it, and you're like, okay, you're cool.
Then
but later on, when you come back, is when they do it.
Yeah. So I guess honorable mention would be the hunter for me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think another, bro. I'm telling you, the remake of the first one it's good. It's scary. Like another, like 2 scary moments I can say that like close to my favorite would be like when they introduced Lisa whole new, that one, and then when they introduced the sharks, because that was completely different.
Yeah, there's like a meme that they show you the two side by side, like the shark part from the first one, the shark part from the remake.
The first one, it's like this little room, and there's like this little baby shark coming after you. And then
you get like Megalodon or whatever it is in the new one. All right, so our next topic is going to be ideas and theories for future games. Obviously, we played Resident Evil 7, so spoilers ahead from here on. I think it ends with Ethan. There's 2 endings, but I think they're going to go with the whole ending where like Ethan goes with Mia.
Yeah, I think they confirmed that it was canon because of one of the DLCs. It's like how Zoe gets cured. So if there's a whole DLC on that,
is that the one where like you play as the uncle?
Yeah, that's really bad.
I didn't play that at all.
I sadly finished it. You get to punch crocodiles in the face.
Yeah, I saw you playing it. I realized I would never pick up the controller to play that game.
That was even the last straw with me when like doing that DLC. That DLC was bad.
Yeah. The
last straw is how you see Swamp Man like from DC. He's like the guy chasing you.
Yeah.
That's Jack. So Jack
doesn't die.
Apparently didn't die the first 3 times throughout the normal game. So you finally kill him as his brother. No one talks about in the main game. And it's just, I was just there like, compared to the Chris DLC, like who wrote this one? Like,
he has to fight his brother and he kills him?
Yeah, you kill Jack and like, bro, I don't know who wrote that DLC.
You know what it was? It's like that DLC was like so Resident Evil 6-esque. Like it was so like over the top that I felt like you still had parts of that team who made Resident Evil 6 and like the people who made Resident Evil 7 were like, here you go, make a DLC. Like kind of like giving the dog a bone. Like here you go, do this. And then you have this guy punching crocodiles and Swamp Man.
Yeah, I feel like it's a mix of that, and then Resident Evil was always known for having like its like bizarre, funny thing. Like, even like in the old games, but it was usually in the side. Like it had like I remember number 2 was famous. If you beat Resident Evil 2 like in certain conditions, you can literally play as a tofu.
I don't remember that at all.
But it was a side thing. It's not like that's part of the story or something. So I don't know why they had this actual DLC story for Resident Evil 7 that is like you're playing as this redneck lost brother who like heals by eating
I don't know
centipedes.
I don't know what the hell they're thinking.
Like, kill crocodiles and fight this monster that literally looks like the Swamp Thing from DC with your fist, and then the twist of the DLC is that it's Jack.
That's ridiculous. There was another DLC, right, with Chris?
Yeah, which is that's the thing. If you play one and then the other one, like it'll baffle.
How does that end off? I didn't play that one. How does that end off? Just give me like a quick.
Yeah, like it doesn't tease 8 too much, but what you find out is that it's with the son. It's Jack's son. One is Lucas.
Yeah.
He escapes in number 7. I remember a lot of people were like, well, so what happens with him? So it's all about like Chris's orders are to track him down before he comes back. And then throughout the whole fight, you find out that apparently Lucas was able to like disconnect from Evelyn and was like still has the mold virus, but he was communicating with this new group which they've been teasing throughout 7. And I'm not sure 6 because 6 I only played once, but there's this whole other group that's making like bioweapons. They're the ones that hired Mia to take her, Evelyn, and apparently Lucas is planning to betray them.
Okay.
Like that's his whole thing. He wants to he's super crazy, and he wants to sort of I guess either sell the virus that he's been hired to get, or just I don't know. Like basically, what happens is that Chris kills him at the end of the DLC without you really getting any answers. You just know that there's a whole other group out there.
I couldn't stand that guy, man.
Yo, Luke. That's the thing I liked about the DLC didn't do too much of the whole his Saw stuff, because I never
oh my god.
But what I did like about the DLC was that they introduced this new white mold creature that was pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't. I'll probably just watch the cutscenes. There's cutscenes, right? Or is it all playable?
It's short. I mean, for a DLC, it's cool because that one was for free.
Yeah.
Because I guess it's considered the epilogue of 7.
It also took a year and a half to come out. So it better have been free, So in terms of ideas, I really hope they continue with the horror. I don't want them to go back to the time crisis bullshit that they had in the last couple games. I really want it to be I liked it. I know a lot of people were kind of turned off by the first person aspect, but I kind of liked it. I feel like it really immersed you into the game. But I really hope they go back to maybe even if you gotta play as Ethan, I don't care. But I really wanted to go back to stay being scary, because that game, it scared me.
Yeah. 7 was a very great comeback.
Yeah.
To the horror thing. Now, I'm torn on the first person thing. I loved it in 7, but after seeing what they're doing with the remake for 2, how it's back to kind of
third person,
the third person of 4, but you can move.
Yeah.
But they're still keeping that that horror element.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm
maybe
torn.
Maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they're re-releasing that game to measure 2 things: to see if we like the third person, we want to go back to it, and to see if they can do horror again with zombies. Maybe they're trying to see if they can go back to their roots, because that's what I want, man. I feel like at some point in Resident Evil it just became action. Excuse me. And I really miss that horror aspect.
Yeah,
so
I feel so 4 is obviously one of my favorites, but I feel like it started that.
That's what started it.
It started it, and it was during a time where they kind of
they needed
it.
Yeah.
It's just they pushed it too much going on. Because I remember people when the remakes came out 1 and 0.
Yeah.
People loved them, but a lot of newcomers were struggling with the old tank controls. The whole the angles are weird. They had to came up with the nickname tank controls. It was And with 4, they completely changed it. I remember there was a demo for 4 that they let a lot of people play, and it was insane. Everyone was hyped, and I felt like I think they misread what the audiences wanted.
Yeah.
People were okay with it with 4, because 4 still
had some horror elements.
I didn't think it was terrifying, but it did have those
the first 30 minutes for me were terrifying, especially with the chainsaw guy and the people.
There's good scary moments, but it started that whole there's segments there that's just pure action. You fight this guy towards the end of the game who's this giant Mr. T guy with a minigun.
Yeah. Fuck the people with the miniguns.
Yeah, and it was
especially in 6 and 5. Anybody with a gun can kiss my ass, man.
6 was when they took it too far.
Oh my god! You had zombies shooting guns at you,
and then and then when the normal zombies too, they would
they jump on you,
one shot you, assault rifles, and then they would chug them through. I remember when I was playing this game, I was wow, man, we've came far.
So, in terms of story for the new one, I think they can do a couple different things. I think for one, they can just flat out continue with Ethan and Mia. Maybe that umbrella helicopter that picked them up is good. Maybe it's not. I remember before they confirmed that was actually Chris, people were saying, okay, maybe this is a code name they give you, which is Redfield. Maybe that's where we are now. They give you the code names. Maybe they're bad, or I don't know.
The DLC basically
confirms it, right?
Yeah, because it flat out says that he's not even part of the really of the umbrella.
He's still BSSA.
That he was contracted. He's still from the BSSA, but I do feel definitely that group they keep teasing is going to have a huge effect on the next game. And I feel if anyone should come back, it should be Mia. I want Ethan for sure, but just because that Mia's still alive, and then she's kind of the only link to whoever's there.
Yeah, maybe Ethan will have a side role.
I hope he
There hasn't been that many Resident Evil games that you play as one character, and then the next game you play as the same character. So
I don't think there's
just
ever
by
been
going
one.
off the trend, we probably won't be playing as Ethan next game.
I think they should, because one of the things I did like was that he was kind of the average guy that like is forced to go through stuff, and I feel like with the next game they can like actually do more of that, like and build off his character, because everyone else had some kind of like training whatsoever. I think the closest one you can say is Claire and Leon. Like Leon, it was his first day.
Yeah,
Claire was just looking for Chris. Like she's just.
They don't say if she was like trained by Chris or something.
Like she was trained how to shoot by Chris.
Yeah.
But that's it.
I'm so excited for Resident Evil 2, like the remake.
Yeah.
I'm so pumped for that. We'll definitely do a playthrough.
Yeah, I think that's,
or at least a review. Right, so
after. we kind of want to do like a walkthrough of the original one, so we can like the moment then like the new one comes out, we can like get ready to compare it and like relive the moments, but in this new.
Yeah.
And I already see from the trailer they're going the same way with Resident Evil 1 remake. Like they're gonna add a lot of new stuff to throw off people.
Yeah. I watched in the trailer. I'm kind of like, damn, they kind of like just made the game really dark. Like I know it's gonna be different, but you watch the trailers and there's like everything's a shadow, and like that's. It sounds simple, but that's pretty much all you gotta do. Like if Resident Evil 4 had been just darker, I feel like it would have been a lot scarier. Those parts where I was like, this is kind of well lit, and I'm not really that scared. But I'm sorry, I'm digressing. But yeah, so we're gonna try to replay the second one and then do a review of it, and we'll probably try to do a live stream of it as well if we can. For our next video, we're gonna be doing pretty much the same template as this, but it's gonna be kind of like reverse, like our least favorite characters, and it's also gonna be like our favorite villains. We're also gonna cover our scariest moments, our least favorite moments. And then we'll go from there. So thank you for joining us today, guys. And if you like this video, please feel free to like and subscribe. Bye.